Hey, it's Randy at Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $25,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 64-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend is just go directly to our website. We've got these free quotas on just about every page. All you need to do is just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount you're looking for, put your birthday in there, and the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies with the lowest pricing based on your age, gender, and the state that you live in. It's really terrific way to shop. Just take full advantage of that. You can also call us at 888-862-9456. Now, one of the first things we generally recommend to a 64-year-old female looking at $25,000 worth of insurance is just determining if that $25,000 is going to be enough for her final expense needs. Now, typically that's going to be either cremation or burial. Let's start with the cremation. The average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. Now, that's if you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have a ceremony included with that, and with the cremation, that's probably going to typically fall between $3,500 to $4,500 if you're going to have like a celebration of life or some sort of remembrance ceremony, something like that. Now, as far as coverage, what you would need, for that cremation where you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically help people with between $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. And you're probably going, well, Randy, hold on. You said the cremation's $2,000 and now you're recommending $5,000 worth of coverage. What's going on there? Well, what's going on is our 64-year-old female probably wants to live to 74, maybe even age 84. And we just know that as we grow older, the price of things goes up due to inflation. And, final expense stuff is no different. So all we're doing is we're just getting some extra coverage to cover that cost of inflation if we are blessed to live a long time, because we know the prices are going to go up. So by doing it that way, our family members won't have to worry about that money at that time. Now, it also has kind of a secondary benefit, because if you do die sooner, if you die kind of right away or sooner, there's going to be some extra money left over to pay off some other expenses, like maybe medical bills or credit cards or something like that. Stuff that if given the gift of time, you would have gotten that paid off. So it not only protects kind of in the long term, but also in the short term as well. Now, for that cremation where you're going to have the ceremony, we would typically help people probably between $7,000 to $10,000, something like that. Again, it's inflation proof for the long run, but also in the short run, there's some extra money just in case you die sooner than you think, and there's some extra bills there. Now, the average cost of a burial in the United States is right around $10,000 right now. That's not going to be anything fancy, though, but it's hard to imagine if you walked into a funeral home pretty much anywhere in the United States with a $10,000 check that they would say no. If they did, you could always just walk out the door and walk down the street a couple of blocks to their competitors, and I'm sure they would help you out. But just understand that $10,000 right now, that's kind of the cost it is right now. So that's not going to be inflation proofed. So most 64-year-old females, we would be helping with anywhere between 10, 15, 20,000, sometimes 25,000 if people have kind of a more extravagant type funeral final arrangements planned or something like that. But keep in mind that if you're on a fixed or limited income and money's tight right now, you can always start with the 10,000 and you can always add more coverage later. We help people with that all the time. But if you're in a little bit better financial shape and you just want to make sure that you inflation proof your plan, looking at maybe, 15,000, 20,000, even up to 25,000 if that's within your budget, that's certainly going to take care of your final expense needs going forward. Now, sometimes we'll talk with people and they say, well, I want to take care of my final expenses and leave some money behind for the kids or family members. And they'll be looking at 30, 40, 50,000. And we'll give them a quote, and it'll be, a lot of times it's a little high for them because they're on fixed incomes. And then they go, well, if I can't do everything, if I can't get everything I want, I'm not going to do anything at all. And what they've just done is they've just sentenced their family members to pay this debt for them when they do die. And they're probably going to have to put it on credit cards at 26% interest. So we have to have a conversation with them and say, hey, you'd originally planned on doing this just to cover the final expenses. That's a necessity because you know you're going to die. And you want to leave money behind for the kids, but why don't we treat these like two separate things? Why don't we get the final expense taken care of now? And then if you want to at some point in the future, we can always help you with a policy that would just go to the kids. And generally that just works out terrific for folks. You know, again, if financially you're in a little bit better shape, we can do those all at once and combine everything. But splitting it up is really appealing to so many folks out there. Now, one thing we always recommend getting is first day coverage or benefits. We do not ever recommend a 2-year waiting period plan. I'll talk about that in a moment. But what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write out that check for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. It's going to be the best coverage. It's also going to have the lowest pricing. So, but some people will say, hey, Randy, you know, you're right. I do like that first day coverage, but I have some health problems and I'm worried that I won't qualify. To which we always say, hey, that's our problem, not your problem, right? At least from an insurance standpoint. And what we mean by that is we work with a lot of different insurance companies. They all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting. And right now we're getting around 95% of the people that we work with, we're getting those approved for first day coverage or benefits. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you first day coverage is if you just waited too long and you had some significant health issues, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or you're in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd typically refer you out to a different insurance company. Sometimes it just seems like on a weekly basis too, we'll have somebody call us and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have any insurance and we don't have any money. And now their body's down at the funeral home and the funeral director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get some insurance really quick so we can get that insurance money to pay the funeral home director. And we have to let them know that there is no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on somebody who's already dead. You have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's just really sad that a family member, of course, died, but it's doubly sad that they left this burden for their family members. They knew they were going to die someday. They thought about getting this insurance in the past, right? How could they not have? But then they just put it off and put it off and put it off. And then one day they just done went and died. And now their family members have to put up with this, and they've got to come up with the money. And chances are they're going to have to put it on credit cards and pay it off at 26% interest. And what a burden on the family. And it's totally preventable. You know, this insurance is affordable. If money's tight, you know, we can help you start with the smaller amount. We can just build up coverage over time. There's no excuse not to do this. Now, with that said, we don't recommend those 2-year waiting period plans. And Colonial Penn's a fairly well-known company out there. I think they advertise all the time on TV. I think their $9.95 commercials are playing every 7 minutes, maybe, perhaps, right? But you may not know this, but Colonial Penn, their $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period policy. Yeah, you don't want that. No, yuck, no. But Colonial Penn, they're not the only 2-year waiting period plan. There's other companies out there, Mutual of Omaha, they're United of Omaha Line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, there's so many other different companies out there. And some of these companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't fall for such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yes, we do. But, I mean, our 64-year-old female probably just got done watching one of those Colonial Penn $9.95 commercials, and she's probably thinking, boy, that was so slickly produced. I am probably going to get so much insurance. I'm going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I bet I can even get $50,000 for $9.95 because I'm only 64 years old. And then she talks with the Colonial Penn agent or goes on their website and looks up pricing like we've done for you right here. And she finds out that 1 unit of coverage for a 64-year-old female, that's going to be $9.95. That's going to only pay out $1,313. So now that may pay for a super cheap cremation in some parts of the country, but not all parts of the country. And, even if it did pay for a cremation, price-wise, it's not going to pay out for 2 years. and we know that things go up in price due to inflation. So in 2 years, things are going to be more expensive. So $1,313 is barely enough right now, but in 2 years, yeah, you're probably going to kind of be out of luck. So, why would you ever get a plan that is so substandard coverage-wise and won't pay out for 2 years? Certainly, this is you're only considering this for a cremation where you come home in a box or an urn. It's not going to pay for the ceremony and cremation. It's not going to pay for the burial. Yeah. So there's some people out there that would say, there's companies that sell these really low price plans at teaser rates. They're meant to tease you to get your info in, and then they can enter you into their marketing funnel, and then they can call you and whatever. But once they get you on the phone, some would say they'll be glad to show you the lowest price and how pitiful that coverage is. And then from there, they will upsell you to try to sell you more coverage that's going to be more profitable for the insurance company. Now, we would never say Colonial Penn would ever do anything like that, but some people certainly have their opinions about that. And I guess you can form your own opinion based off the fact that you're only going to get $1,313 for $9.95. So let's take a look. One challenge with the $9.95 plan is it maxes out at 14 units. We are not going to get close to $25,000. They don't even do it. Let's find out what it is. Yeah, like $18,000. That's 14 units, 15 units. There we go. 19,695. And that's $150, but that's still like well over $5,000 less than you really wanted. Let's do this though. Let's go take a look at what first day coverage would be here. So we got 25,000 right here. Female, age 64, and then get quote. Let's go back and take a look. Roughly not even 20,000 for $150. So let's take a look here. This is going to be 25,000. I want to show you one more time. And we can get that for right around $92, $93, $94. Any one of these companies would be fine. It just depends which one you're going to qualify for. There's some companies out there that we don't recommend because they, they might take a month to approve you. And some companies out there are difficult. Some companies might take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to approve you. And some companies like this one here, we can get you approved same day over the phone so you don't even have to worry about this. You can get an answer the very same day. And this is level coverage, which means first day coverage. So let's take a look here, though. I mean, you're getting $25,000 for, say, $93, $94, $92 somewhere. We'll just average it at $93. And or you can get, $19,695 for $150. So what's the difference on that? Let's run that really quick. So that's going to be 93 minus 150. So Colonial Penn's going to be roughly around $57 more expensive. And keep in mind, you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to overpay actually that $57 the rest of your life. And you're going to get socked with a 2-year waiting period. So let's do the math on that. It gets expensive. So $57 a month times 12 months, it's going to be roughly $684 more a year that you would overpay. And if our 64-year-old female made it to age 74, you would overpay right around $6,840 on a $25,000 policy. So why on earth would you ever overpay right around $6,800 over the next 10 years? I mean, doesn't it make sense that you would rather keep that money in your own pocket? And by going with first day coverage and avoiding that 2-year waiting period, it's going to save you it's like $6,800 roughly. Would that money look better in your bank account, or would that money look better in the insurance company's bank account? Of course, it's going to look better in your account. And hopefully it wouldn't all be in your account. Hopefully you would have spent some of that money on yourself, having fun, making memories with your spouses and kids and loved ones, right? So don't give that money to an insurance company. Yeah, you can manage your money better than that. Let's take a look at some other companies here, though. So, even here, like $92 versus $108 times 12 is $96 a month or a year. After 10 years, you would have overpaid $960. You might go, well, $960, that's not a lot. Well, would you ever in your life just pull out your wallet, walking down the street, and throw $960 on the sidewalk and keep walking and let others take your money? No, of course you wouldn't. Why would you do it in this case then either? Be a smart shopper. It's okay if you're not a smart shopper. We'll help you be one. But yeah, just don't waste money. Let's look at, you'll be able to see all these different insurance companies on our quoter. It's terrific. Oh, here's one other one though. Yeah, Lincoln Heritage, fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing. Yeah, that is way up there. It is level coverage, right? But yeah, oochie mama. So why is that so much? Well, they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things, and supposedly get you the lowest pricing and stuff like that. But it's not free. They charge for that. It's going to cost quite a bit extra a month. So that's roughly 100. I'm just going to round up 130, 136 versus just say 93. So if you go with Lincoln Heritage, you'll be overpaying right around $43 a month. And if we do that $43 a month times 12 months for 1 year, you'd be overpaying right around $516 more for the year. And if our female age 64 made it to age 74, you'd be overpaying right around $5,160 roughly. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth overpaying an insurance company right around $5,160 to make 2 or 3 phone calls and maybe do a couple of other things that only take an hour or so to do? So most people would say that's a pretty dang good payday for an insurance company for like an hour or so of work. And we just don't recommend you do that. We recommend you keep that money in your bank account rather than put that money in an insurance company's bank account. And what we actually do and what we'd recommend is getting you approved for the lowest price plan you qualify for. And then we actually provide a funeral and estate planning guide. And you can just download that off our website for free and print it out. Once it's printed out, just fill it out. Write down who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone, and then keep that with your insurance policy. And then that way, when you pass away, everything's in one place. Your family members will know that you not only protected them financially, but you protected them emotionally with the funeral and the estate planning guide. Because all they'll need to do is pull out that funeral and estate planning guide, open it up, start reading it, and then all they need to do is just do what you told them to do. Just fulfill your wishes. And you left the money behind with the insurance policy to take care of everything too. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you loved and protected them that one last time in death, exactly when they would need your help the most, when you were not here, but you took care of this in advance. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So if you're interested in leaving a legacy like that, just reach out to us at funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quarter for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And we've got a free quoter there. It'll get you the lowest prices, the most discounts. It's terrific. Take full advantage of that, and you'll be a much smarter shopper. You can also call us at 888-862-9456, and one of our agents can help you out. But if you've got an existing policy and you want to see if you can get lower pricing or you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for a brand new policy or just had some questions or needed some help with something, understanding what you might qualify for, we can help you out with that. But, we look forward to helping you get the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with this at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.